So Dimerix is developing a new therapy to treat chronic kidney disease. Chronic kidney disease is a problem worldwide. In the US alone, it affects more than 26 million people at various stages of the disease. What Dimerix has developed as its lead product is a new therapy that stops the further progression of the disease. Simplistically, one of the problems that happens when you have chronic kidney disease is the filter that is the kidney starts to break down and things start leaking out of the blood into the urine, particularly proteins, and that's the start of the problems. What our therapy does, we believe, is protect the integrity of that filter so that we can slow down the progression of the disease. So we've completed preclinical development in Australia, and we're about to start what's called a phase 2 clinical trial, which is the first efficacy phase of the studies. Because of the drugs that we're using in our therapy, they all have existing history of use in humans, so that enables us to effectively skip phase 1 clinical trials, the traditional first-in-human studies, and go straight to phase 2 efficacy studies. The key thing for post-IPO is to commence the clinical trial. So we have all our clinical protocols ready to go. We've appointed a principal investigator and we'll be submitting for ethics approvals this month, in fact, being June of this year. That will enable us to start the clinical trial as early as August or September, the latest. So we'll be in human trials within a quarter after IPO. So we've assembled what we think is a great team to execute on this program. Myself, I'm as a background as an entrepreneur and formerly a scientist, but I've been responsible for taking or identifying 4 products that have gone through to FDA approval, including 2 drugs with a company that I started a number of years ago. That company was subsequently acquired. Dr. Sonia Polly has just been appointed as Managing Director. She has her prior roles were with Roche in Switzerland and another company called Addex Therapeutics, another Swiss-listed biotech company. She has a lot of industry experience doing transactions with big pharmaceutical companies as well, in terms of early-stage development deals. And the rest of our non-exec board are also highly experienced. David Fuller was previously the medical director at Arana Therapeutics during the course of its transaction with Cephalon a number of years ago, and now runs a clinical research choice. So he's the medical director of a clinical research organisation that operates on a global scale. Mark Ashton was formerly with Evotech in Europe, one of Europe's preeminent contract research organisations servicing the pharmaceutical industry globally. And David Franklin has extensive governance experience in ASX-listed companies. The uptick on putting a team together like that is that we have great ability to execute on what we say we're going to do. We've put everything in place. We've assembled the best team we possibly can to execute on the clinical programs and take it beyond just satisfying the clinical outcomes. That is, with those clinical outcomes in hand, building to the point of doing a significant transaction around this initial therapy, and also the therapies that we have coming up in the background. So Dimerix is not about one drug. Dimerix has a lead program for chronic kidney disease, but through its underlying technology platform, we have a pipeline of other opportunities that we will take forwards. Looking to raise between $7 and $9 million. Those funds will be used to fund principally clinical trials, as you'd expect in a biotech company running clinical trials. These aren't cheap exercises. The use of BookBuild. We, I believe, will be the first biotechnology company to use the BookBuild process, and fundamentally as entrepreneurs, we see it as a great opportunity to get this opportunity out to a broader network of potential investors, and we think it's a great opportunity, and we would welcome the breadth and involvement of lots of people.